And when did you notice that you have kind of lost this purpose?
So I've had glimpses of it, but I would say like it started probably when I was very important developmental years. Like when I was probably 17 is when I noticed like I'm not really playing like how I used to. And at that point I'd been playing for 12 years already. So it's not like I had just started like when I was 12. Like I'd been playing for 12 years at that point. But um yeah, so I'd say my late teens is when I probably noticed it biggest. And since then it's kind of just had glimpses, like I said, but it's never stuck.
Okay. And as far as you can remember, in those glimpses, were there were there when you had glimpses, was it the glimpses of purpose or glimpses of you playing like you did when you were younger, or both?
Both, like for sure, both.
Okay. So I don't know, is it from your experience, is it like the um not the chicken and the hen and the egg? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like the chicken. Are you saying like what came
Uh,
first? Like the chicken?
The hen is the male. Is the hen the male? The female of the chicken? Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea. I like yeah, I can't answer that.
Really? Oh, uh, I'm gonna figure that out. Uh, oh, it is hen.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm glad I could learn you. You can learn something about your own
Yeah,
language.
yeah, definitely.
Okay. So yeah, what comes first?
Uh, like between the hen and the egg.
Uh, take it out of the metaphor back into football.
Okay. So you're saying between like purpose and like creativity, like what comes first?
Yeah.
Um, well, I would say like what was probably more natural, like what came first to me when I was a kid is probably just the absolute like the fun and like the enjoyment I could attach to like the creativity and scoring goals and stuff. Like I think at that age, there's not really like as much a purpose. The purpose is more just to go out there and kind of have fun. And like those are the things that like I enjoyed and had fun doing when I was that age. So I would say like, the creativity probably came first and like everything that is associated with that.
Okay. So have you tried forgetting about, like, putting the thoughts about purpose to one side and looking at, okay, how can I bring this creativity back into my game?
It's like separating kind of.
Yeah, instead of focusing on, if you what you're saying is true, like when you're a kid, you don't think about, oh, what's my purpose? You feel drawn to play football and you find yourself being what you would call a creative player. And then the purpose comes afterwards. Okay, this is my purpose. I'm the creative player who, I dribble, I create chances, I score goals. Well, what if, because now you're very focused on, or at least it sounds like you're very focused on the purpose part of it. But if purpose is what follows the joy of being creative, what would happen if that was the focus? Do you get what I'm saying?
Wait, so you're saying like the focus would be like the joy and the creativity, or like the like because like that's what it stems from, or would you say like the purpose?
The creative, the creativity and joy.
So yeah, like it's like focusing on the creativity and the joy versus the purpose. Yeah. So yeah, no, I've like 100% like so I've thought about that, and so here's the thing. So this is kind of going on like a little bit deeper as well. Um, so like to demonstrate those aspects of myself, it's like it's what I've. It's like I still like love doing that. It's like like bringing like immediate joy to my game. Like even now, like I still experience it. Like if I have like a great ball or like I create like a great chance or like I score, like I still have that like really strong like feeling of like obviously that felt good. Um, but the thing is like I don't do it as much as like I just don't do it as much as I think I should. And I think the joy and creativity is what I'm like probably searching for. But I have this like this thing, it's kind of like a blocker. And it's like this like fear of like criticism, if that makes sense. So like I have this like fear of criticism, which kind of gets in the way of demonstrating my like creativity and joy.
Okay. Well, that would make sense. Is that something that just came up for you now, or did you know this when we started this conversation?
I would say I'm a pretty self-aware like individual. So I kind of like I kind of like I've seen a little bit of it, but like obviously having this conversation, like you have to, you kind of think these things a little bit throughout the day, but like in order to really dive into like the actual whys and stuff, you have to have like conversations like these about them. So I would say like I self-aware, so I knew about it, but obviously like we're kind of diving into it now. So, I'm thinking about it more deeply and stuff, and that's why I just brought it up. So I would say like I always kind of knew it was there a little bit, but talking about it really puts it out there.
Okay. Well, so what I said, why didn't you start saying that, get the conversation with that?
Yeah.
No problem. Just teasing. Okay. So the reason you don't express your creativity more is because you're afraid of criticism.
Yeah.
Okay. When because you when you were 10, 12 years old, this you were not afraid of criticism. It wasn't a problem.
No.
Hmm, okay. Do you remember when it started?
Yeah. Um,
Awesome.
you want me to say?
Yeah. I could just read your mind, but it is recorded, so
Yeah, I mean it's okay. Wow. Yeah, so remember I mentioned like 16, 17 is when I kind of like it kind of changed a little bit. So at that same time, I also had a coach who was like a really just bad dude, like just not a good like someone that just shouldn't be a coach, like just like a shitty individual. And the dude would like single me out, and like anytime mistakes were made, he wouldn't like say like it was this guy. He would like single me out, and like it just like that kind of it just subconsciously like I'm still at an age like 16, 17 where you're still learning a lot. Like obviously we're constantly learning, but like your brain's just like developing so much at that time, and I think like I grew up with really good coaches who were like kind of always believed in me growing up, and then I had a huge injury and I was out for 8 months. And as soon as I came back from the injury, I didn't go back to my old coach or my old team. And obviously, I had various other old teams slash old coaches growing up, but like this was my like most recent one before that injury, and he was class. And then I went and came back, but I was like, I need to obviously keep progressing because I took 8 months off, so I went to just a better club. And the coach there, like just from the get go, just like just didn't. He was just kind of just I don't know, just like an asshole, like just like would just single me out for things, and like it was okay the first like 5 6 months. Um, but then it just kind of came, and then it just like it just didn't stop until like I eventually like this was around high school age, so I eventually graduated from high school, and obviously you move up to college and do all that stuff. So I obviously didn't play anymore with this coach, but um, I started from this coach when I was like 16, 17, and like I think I was just so like obviously you're on edge if every practice you're going to like the coach is like probably looking at you like trying to like critique you like you're gonna be on edge. So I think that's what it probably stemmed from. Not even probably, that's definitely what it stemmed from.
Okay. And what was your experience as a 16, 17-year-old boy being criticized by, well, someone who's an authority in your eyes? Probably, I guess, because he's a coach, he has some power.
I mean, obviously, like I didn't like it, so I would say to try to mitigate that, I would probably just try to do very basic stuff, so that way I wouldn't be in the spotlight, you know. Because when you are creative, you're in the spotlight. It doesn't matter if you're good or bad at it, you're in the spotlight. And I think I wanted to get out of that because I was like, if I'm in the spotlight still, like he's gonna keep looking at me, you know.
And what would happen if, well, yeah, but when he criticized you, how did you feel?
Uh, Probably just like not good enough, you know. Like probably just a very big like I had a like kind of the lack mindset, you know, like I didn't have enough or um I shouldn't be doing this. So obviously, you know, I felt like a mix of sadness and kind of like fear.
Do you have your hand on your microphone on your phone?
Mm-mm. Is it so bad?
No, it isn't. Yeah, because you're fading in and out.
That's really weird. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's pretty hard sometimes to hear you. It's been kind of worsening.
All right, give me 1 second. One
Yeah,
second. Hello?
yeah,
Is that better?
yeah.
Let me
Now,
just
are we on the phone now?
yeah, okay, this is better. I should have fixed some things. It's just I had some like headphones in and I think they can do that stuff sometimes.
Now we have surround sound instead. That's much better for sound
Perfect.
effects. Great. So your experience was like when you were criticized by him, it made you feel not good enough, questioning why you're even playing football.
Yeah, it's questioning like my love for it because I stopped doing the things
Mm,
that made me love football, you know?
okay. So what would you say is the meaning you create around that experience you had with that coach? The the experience that came from the way he treated you, the way he looked at you, perceived you.
I don't want to experience that again. yeah, that was the meaning for sure.
So the way you dealt with it was, okay, I don't want to feel like this again, so I better dim my light.
Exactly.
So do you see the belief you have been living in since you were 16, 17 years old? Like you're 23 now, right?
22.
20, oh, 22, you're so young. So do you see the belief you have been living in for the past 5 years or so?
Yeah, I mean, it's all out there, you know,
What's the belief you've been living in?
that I that I just kind of I don't want to stand out, and I don't want to stand out because I don't want other people to, like, critique that. I don't want people to, like, I just don't want to be in the spotlight because um I don't want to be criticized by people that I don't know, like coaches and stuff. So,
Because being criticized equals what? What happens
like, not,
when you're being criticized?
like you feel like not good enough. I don't know. You just feel like pain and like kind of sadness, like just not good emotions, you know, like bad emotions.
Hmm. So when that's the world you have created for yourself, the belief that you live in, does it make sense to you that you're not that creative anymore? Or you don't
Mm,
show it, or at least you're not showing it?
yeah, I mean, I feel like I still have that. I just feel like I don't show it because, like, remember I mentioned like the glimpses, you know, like I know it's still there, but it's like I go from like kind of like that like flow state, I would say, to just like back to like oh yeah, let's not do this again. Let's like make sure we just do the basic stuff, you know?
Yeah. See, at least from, can I share with you what I'm seeing and hearing in what you're saying? So right now, because of the experience you had when you were 17 years old, you have created this world for yourself where it's dangerous to be seen because, well, if I get seen, I can be criticized. And I remember how bad I felt when I was criticized, and it made me feel like I'm not good enough. So why would I do something where I might get seen, potentially get
Yeah.
seen?
Yeah, like exactly.
And what does it mean to be not good enough? Good enough for,
Maybe just not delivering on the expectations that you set for yourself or that you think you should, that people like, also expectations that people might put on you, whether like they actually say it or not. Like subconsciously, you might think like this person wants me to do this. But I think it's just not really living up to expectations.
and what if you don't live up to expectations? What
Then
then?
you're just not like you're not fit, you're not good enough.
Good enough to like would you give a shit about living up to people's expectations about how good at check you should be?
No.
No. Why not?
Uh, just because like I don't know. I guess it's not like I don't know. It's just not my thing. I guess like
So what's different about like what's the difference between check and football
um
when it
well
comes to that?
towards I feel that I am like supposed to be good at football, you know. So like I feel like I'm supposed to be very very good at football.
Hmm.
So it's like I have to be very good like all the time, you know.
Why do you feel like that?
Just because of like the amount of like years I've played and like um I don't know. I just feel like like yeah. I feel like I'm a good player, so I need to be playing good every game and every training.
And what does it say about you if you're not performing good enough, well enough, at least from your perspective?
I don't know. Maybe like sometimes I would just have thoughts where it's like maybe it's just like it's like fear thoughts. So it's like maybe just I'm not good enough, even though like maybe I think I am, but like maybe deep down I don't think I'm good enough, or like maybe this just like isn't my thing, even though I've devoted all this time to it. Um, or maybe just this is one, but like maybe just the guys, my teammates or the guys on the other side of the field are just better than me.
What if I throw the word in this conversation, both with what happened with the criticism and the fear of being seen and not playing good enough? I'm assuming it's connected. What if I throw the word self-esteem in?
So like how I see myself, pretty much.
Mm.
I mean that would obviously that's massive. Yeah, like that makes sense.
In what way does it make sense?
I think the way like I see myself, at least as like a footballer, changed a lot in those years. So I feel like that's kind of everything in a way because I feel like my self esteem changed during those years. Like just my like because the things I just mentioned, I would have never said that like when I was younger. I mean, obviously you're different when you're younger, regardless. Like you people change, but um, I just feel like when I was at the peak of those like when I really enjoyed the creativity and like the joy I had from playing and stuff. I feel like I would have never I would have never had like that self esteem where it's like I care so much what other people think, you know?
But that 17-year-old kid made the meaning that, okay, if I'm being criticized, it means that I'm not good enough. And if I'm not good enough, well, that says something about my value as a person. Does that sound true or not?
Yeah.
Hmm. So where are you born, Christian? Where were you born?
I was born in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Okay. Um, let's try this for fun. So if I were to cut you open, would
Sounds
and
crazy.
yeah, that's how I work. Um, that you're lucky we're online and not in real life. Um,
Damn.
that's a transformative experience. But if I were to cut you open, would I find any evidence, anything that would tell me that Christian is not enough? He's not good enough.
I mean, no, just be like, yeah,
Okay. So where does that exist?
like my thoughts or like my mind, but yeah.
So it's so the only place that it only space that it can take place is in your mind. So it's they're not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not da 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 da. Is a conversation between your ears.
Yeah,
The fear of being criticized is a conversation between your ears.
yeah,
It's a world you have created for yourself that you're living in and been living in for 5 years. That has absolutely nothing to do with reality.
I mean, yeah, it's like my ego. I mean, I'm like, it's like weird. I'm like aware of that, but like I don't know how to handle that. If you know what I'm saying, it's like I'm kind of aware that it's like those thoughts. It's like it's nothing to do with anyone else. It's like my own beliefs and like my own like it's all just kind of going on in here. It's like my ego, but like it's like I said, I'm pretty self-aware of like what my problems and like where they stem from and like what they are, but it's just like the solution side of things, like how to deal with them. It's like I'm kind of lost there.
Yeah, so what blocks you now is the a feeling of fear that comes up sometimes. Uncomfortable feeling, right?
Yeah.
So what's wrong with feeling uncomfortable?
I would just say it's like an unpredictable environment you're in. So I think it's like I don't know, it just doesn't like yeah, you're not comfortable in it. You don't really feel like at ease and um I think if you're like conditioned in a way where it's like you've portrayed that as like a really bad thing, then it's like you're gonna always see like uncomfortable feelings as like like negatives, like all the time they come up regardless of where you are.
So what in if instead of because our time is going, so I will just end with this last one. So what if instead of shying away from the uncomfortable, that you take a new look at it?
Like,
Because hmm?
I was gonna say, yeah, it sounds awesome.
Because, well, why won't we feel like, what's the reason that we shy away from experiences in life?
Fear.
Fear. The fear of that I won't be okay. But where does the experience of where does can anyone take I'm okay away from you, from anyone?
Like the like
So how many times have you had the experience that, oh, I'm uncomfortable, I'm not okay, but you return to I'm okay, I'm fine.
I mean, every time.
Okay. So you have very little trust in that you will return to that state of mind, even though you have experienced a billion times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess that's it. I think that's a good way to put it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're doing your best to control your experience of life, how you feel, because you want to make sure that you feel that you're okay, even though it's something you already always return to. So it seems like it's a natural thing that like you bounce back. Do you try to control your hair growth, the growth
My
of your
hair?
hair? Yeah, the growth of your hair.
I mean, not like directly, but like, like if it gets too long, I'll get like a
Yeah,
haircut.
you cut it, but the growing part you don't try to. Okay, now I'm gonna try to grow it faster now by thinking about it. Or I better slow the growing down. Okay, slowing the growing down. You don't do that, right?
Yeah.
Do try to control your breathing, or do you just breathe fine?
I mean, it's kind of no. It's just like yeah. Just I breathe fine.
Wonderful. What about your heartbeat?
No, I mean I don't. Yeah, I don't control that. It's kind of just does its
It's,
own thing.
it's going pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, that's it seems like that's an inherent part of being human. Like your hair is growing, well, everything is kind of growing. Seems like your heart is beating, you're breathing. You if you try to take over the breathing part, it becomes a little weird. Like thinking about how your tongue is laying in your mouth. If you try to, okay, I'm gonna lay it perfectly in my mouth. It's weird. So we have a lot of things that happens naturally. Well, what if it's the same with our feelings, that you'll naturally return to the experience that you're all right, because that is inherently in you.
Well, yeah,
So
that
that
makes perfect sense.
how how would that change the way you show up in life on the field if you were to see more deeply that no matter how you feel or will ever feel, you will always return to the experience that you are all right.
I mean, yeah, I would say like I just like it sets up the fact that like kind of just no matter what happens, it's like you're I guess you're always gonna be okay. So it's like you might as well like you might as well like do the things you want to do and take those risks, like especially on the field, because like regardless, like you're gonna return to like that comfortable state after or the calm state after.
Yeah, and no matter how good you are at controlling or try to control your emotional life, you you never really get there. Like, who are the ones who experience the people who are, or at least try their best to control their thoughts and feelings, their whole experience of life, are people with anxiety.
Yeah,
And why do they always experience anxiety? Because they spend so much time in their own mind, try to control everything. Well, that's a lot of resources trying to control everything. I hope I don't feel like this. I hope I don't feel like that. I hope this don't doesn't. I hope X, Y, and Z won't happen because then I will feel like da 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 da. It's a life of being afraid of experience. But as a human, the only thing that separates the living from the death is experience. Like, you can stop experiencing when you're dead, but you're alive, so you will experience everything. I'm going. So now we went an hour instead of 40 minutes. So I'm gonna cut now.